The Chiron Corporation launched Liminal Land's opening in the early winter of 1975. The park was constructed in a small populated area, but still managed to rally an immense amount of visitors on day one. Their goal with Liminal Land was to dethrone Disney as the go-to park for families. It was known that the park had many experimental rides that the visitors were eager to get on. Some key attractions being the Hall of Walls, Paradise Rooms, an endless playground for children, the Laugh Track known as the happiest ride on earth, and Subliminal Land, a massive area with connected pools and slides. As big as the park was, strangely enough there was little coverage on it. It was common to see people go missing in the park. Rides would consistently change, and with this, its popularity still continued to grow. May 20th, 1989 was the day that the park was shut down for good. There was no concrete reason given for the immediate closing, and the remains of those present that night were rumored to remain exactly where they were last seen. However, there is much more to Liminal Land than what lies on the surface. The park accommodated its visitors with a holistic and obtune mutual experience: home. The home project was constructed underground and occupied by families that traveled out of state to experience the park. The building once housed clean energy workers and their families, but it was repurposed for park visitors, and the people that came to visit were overwhelmingly comfortable. Home was the only in-park hotel offered to guests. The park's goal was to keep the visitors in the park as long as possible to maximize profits. It was reported that it contained 10,000 concurrent operational rooms at its peak, spreading miles from underneath the park. Home was perfect for visitors, so much so that they extended their visit to the park, and for many, it became a permanent stay. This was the last image of the Lake Valley observations before the construction of Liminal Land. The town was small and rural prior to the business of clean energy, which provided jobs for them as well as a home underground. The hub was the main energy sector for Lake Valley observations. Coming close to it would cause death within an hour, and since the construction of Liminal Land, it was reinstalled at the bottom floor of Subliminal Land. And as great as the park claimed to be, it kept many secrets from the public. This is a found letter from a home employee to Charon. David, I'm having trouble figuring out how to approach Dr. S about this, but it's getting seriously out of hand. We can't keep guys on payroll for longer than a week before they walk off. I'm not sure if this is pay discrepancy or what, but this is seriously beginning to affect our bottom line. Home is a mess. It's becoming a colossal ever since Dr. S decided to sell units for permanent stays. All this man cares about is money, 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 and the residents don't care. They sit in their rooms, living like their trash is everywhere and it stinks. How am I supposed to hire any decent talent if their first day on the job is cleaning up the mess that the last team abandoned? We either need to shut off sections of home or figure out a way to get more people in here fast. I can't keep pulling these overnights alone. Not like this. It's messing with me bad. I haven't told anyone, but 2 nights ago I heard something down the hallways inside C block. I'm not sure if it was because I was up for 22 hours straight again, but it sounded so real. It was akin to a child's scream. This disturbing, blood-curdling scream, followed by what I could only describe as a... I know it sounds ridiculous. Underground? But dear God, it hasn't left my mind since. We need more guys. I'm overworked, I'm tired, and if things don't change, I'm walking off just like the others, because this. It appears that the park is not what it portrays to be from the outside looking in. They had problems with keeping workers and working conditions, but I think the most important part of the letter is what's not on it, the words that were redacted. The creator of the laugh track. This is Charon's first experimental ride where the residents would laugh uncontrollably for the entirety of the ride's 8-minute duration. Prior to this, he had 2 studies on what would happen to the human body during extended laughter. The studies proved that laughter caused damage to the human body. The doctor used these experiments on the laugh track, but it is unclear if anyone has any damage to their own body after going on the ride. There's a list of experimental rides on the website, but there's still little to no information to cover them. However, there is some lost footage from a broadcast, a training video, an investigation tape, and a police report that we will be diving into. Channel 5, 1988, missing persons. The video starts off with what seems to be a representation of the American flag, then it cuts away to something else. A number of missing people, as well as a phone number to call if you were to find them. Margaret Jacobson, Frank Strother, Angie Munoz, Sherry Travis, Mark Ordonez, Herman Reed, Roger Elliott, Angela Hawthorne, and Lisa Stanton are those that are listed on the broadcast. The part that brings up the most concern, I feel like, is the limited amount of information given. All that is provided is a photograph, a name, and a phone number. This is a training tape to maximize visitor satisfaction. The point of the course is to identify unsatisfied visitors. It starts off by giving an example of a dissatisfied visitor, then proceeds to test a trainee. The training video is straightforward in the beginning, but something unexpected happens.
Look at the photo. Look at the photo. Look at the photo. Look at the photo. Look at the photo.
It appears that the video has been tampered with, for even the audio instruction goes mute. After a short moment of silence, the program continues its regular training. The video goes on to state, if you encounter a dissatisfied visitor, make sure to make their day by suggesting additional park activities. At the end of the video, it tells the trainee when they're ready, they can inform their manager to start course 7 using the passcode RIGHT. The anomaly within Liminal Land. This new ride is believed to be tied to cases of facial deformity as noted by the Lake Valley Hospital. The Lake Valley News declined to cover the cases because the visuals are not suitable for the general public. Rick Ackerman, a 42-year-old sales agent, visited Liminal Land in July 1988. He had a wife and 3 children. It is said that he snuck away from his family to ride the anomaly alone. This is the last photo that his family saw of him alive. And this is what he looked like after the anomaly. His cause of death is still under investigation. Lena Sorsen, a 44-year-old teacher, brought her first grade class to Liminal Land in the winter of 1984. She took her kids to the park's Paradise playrooms. She watched over the kids for 7 minutes and left from a near exit. The kids played for 8 hours without noticing she was nowhere to be found. Her body was found in a patch of dirt behind the anomaly, and police refused to share their findings on the case. This is what she looked like when she was found. Maria Ramos, a 48-year-old director, visited Liminal Land alone in November 1982. Maria got on the anomaly that day. The only problem was that it was reportedly closed for repair. Employees claimed to have seen a woman near the controls of the ride, but did not confront her. She jumped into the furthest seat on the back of the ride. The anomaly claimed to have a problem where the ride wouldn't stop after one regular go. The ride ran for 26 minutes non-stop that day, and this was the outcome. It was this day that marked the first ever known death by the Liminal Land anomaly. Lake Valley's Annual Police Report, 1987. Despite quick response from our emergency responders, nothing could be done to salvage the home that was set ablaze by the June 15th fire. When arriving on scene, 2 adults engaged our team to alert them of the presence of 2 children stuck in the bedroom. The 2 were locked in the bedroom before the oven caught on fire due to the forgotten cake left by the mother. Fast action was made to stop the spread of the blaze, and thankfully, nearby homes were spared of any serious damage. Cleanup was completed the following day, and one house was repainted due to the damage from the smoke. No charges were filed. I wanted to note that the report is numbered 23, and is part of a booklet, but it is the only report that the archive team has managed to find, and they ask those who stumble across any to contact them. Now, it's clear that there's a lot of mystery surrounding Liminal Land, but there's one thing that might twist this whole thing. You see, going to the park's website, there's an area marked Park Closure 1989. But when you click on the tab, this is what comes up. Guest area. Please enter the password below. Now, it's unsure why this is here, but we can safely assume if you enter a certain keyword, you get information from the park. Entering the keyword Rite of Passage gives us this image. It appears to be some type of god figure. And searching the word Moloch, which is located at the top of the image, you get this. God of the Canaanites and Phoenicians, to whom parents sacrificed their children. After learning about everything and having this information brought to us, makes everything a little darker. The park is supposed to be a playground for kids to enjoy, and imagining that children's sacrifices going on here is something else. I wanted to highlight the police report, for in the beginning it was a bit odd to be the only report that was included, but looking into it, 2 children were locked in their bedroom before the house caught on fire, which means it most likely wasn't an accident and instead some type of sacrifice. And another thing to back this up would be the image itself. It seems that there is some type of fire going on, but this also leads the question, why were adults also missing, and why were adults the only ones that had disfigured faces after riding the anomaly? These are of the ones that were reported. There could have been more, but another meaning of the word is also a tyrannical power to be propitiated by human subservience or sacrifice. Regardless of specifics, I think it's safe to assume that some type of sacrifice is going on here. And who knows, maybe the park's closure is tied to some type of mass sacrifice. However, the story is still developing. There's still way more to this. It's obvious that Liminal Land is hiding something from us, from its missing people, mysteries around its rides, and its sudden closing. The story is still developing, and I'll continue covering it as it gets released. And if you want to check it out for yourself, use the first link in the description. Thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.